It's Peaches here, and this is Peaches Pit Party, the podcast. A lot of puh sounds with that title. A replay of today's full show, which you can hear weekday afternoons live on K-Barrel 101. I hope you like what I have to say, and if not, well, then I'm sorry, not sorry. Enjoy. And here we are. It's Friday, November 9th, 2024. I was on Twitter this morning, and I continue to be surprised by how bad Twitter has become. I was essentially trying to find anything to post on our profile that wasn't all political, but all I was seeing were videos of women copying my haircut. I guess that's the thing now due to the election, is that some women online are like, you know what, that's it, I'm shaving my head. They're copying the same haircut as me and Victor. I felt extremely bad for this one woman because she was already posting videos on TikTok, and those got shared onto Twitter. She had no hair to begin with. And then she had to post a whole video saying that she, in fact, has cancer, unfortunately, and further went on to explain that she didn't shave her head due to her disagreeing with the election results. That's about as far as I'm going to go with politics on my show. Feel free to reach me over at 208-535-1015. I mentioned these on the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem powered by Jalisco's earlier today, that we had some tour announcements. One major one, as a matter of fact. I did see Citizen Soldier announced a tour, which I thought was cool, considering today I decided to wear my Citizen Soldier t-shirt that Jill from the front desk got for me. They're going to be heading to the complex with 10 Years, 1,000 Below, and Nerve. Nerve I saw earlier this year when they opened up for Asking Alexandria. The major announcement that I saw was Papa Roach teaming up with Rise Against, and also bringing Under Oath on the road with them, making a stop in Salt Lake on April 3rd at the Maverick Center there. You can find both those shows on our concert calendar at riverbendmediagroup.com. The easiest way to get to our all-new concert calendar is to go to riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. You then filter out all the other shows. You just put rock shows right there at the top, and there you go. You can see all the concerts coming our way. Very unfortunate that, today was going to be the day that we were going to announce the Ghost Inside ticket giveaway. And then they canceled their entire U.S. tour just simply because they toured in Europe for the past couple of months and they're exhausted. They're just wanting a break, which rightfully so. Kudos to them for just saying that and not saying the whole due to unforeseen circumstances, that business jargon that bands put out there for the most part. Anyway, I got the presidents of the USA, Jutes, and more to continue our afternoon here together in just a little bit. It's Peaches Pit Party on K-Barrel 101. K-Barrel 101, Idaho's only rock station. I asked this question: who exactly chooses the Christmas tree for the Rockefeller Center over New York? That must be a daunting job to choose that tree, that giant tree that gets put in Rockefeller Center every single year for the Christmas time. Many people from around the country, around the world, come to New York City, specifically to New York for the Christmas time, just because New York is all festive and all that, especially with that giant Christmas tree. So I found out the guy who, does all the gardening for the Rockefeller Center is this guy named Eric Paz. Now, I was trying to find how much this dude gets paid. I'm sure that's not public. I'm hoping it's a lot for his sake. I think this year, we already talked about the tree that was chosen for this year, but it's going to be decked out in over 50,000 lights. There's Swarovski crystals on it, on the star on the top. Oh, it's going to be so cool. I one of these years, I'll make my way out to New York City to go experience New York in the Christmas time and all that, get myself some hot cocoa and be a basic, I can't say the phrase. I'll be a basic girl out there in New York City. This could be something you could do, I guess, when or if you're looking to get married soon, or if you're already married, then the story doesn't apply to you. But this TikToker and bride, Danielle Bonadonna, I do like that last name. Is it Bonadonna? She does not want to part with her maiden name, but isn't sure if she wants to hyphenate, so she will ask her wedding guests to decide. The two options, both bride and groom, hyphenate their last names together to create Bonadonna Bartlebaugh. That sounds like a terrible. That sounds like a butchered Harry Potter spell. Bonadonna Bartlebaugh. Or each partner keeps their name as is. Now, I, for one, I feel like I have the cooler last name. To whoever wants to take that in the future, that's cool. My middle school crush, her name was Phoebe, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh, we can never get married. You know why? Because her name would be Phoebe Peach, and she would become initials PP. I'm not giving up my last name, that's for sure. I like the last name Peach. That's signature. Yeah, for anybody who's wondering why exactly the afternoon DJ is called Peaches, because I still get asked that question from time to time. Why do they call you Peaches? No, I'm not a stripper. Just my last name's Peach. I go by Peaches on the air. To anybody that's had like a childhood nickname, for some reason they're called Peaches. One person tried saying my nickname's been Peaches for years. My name is legitimately Peaches. I have a one-up situation there. Therefore, you must give up that nickname. All right, so I was scrolling Ask Reddit, trying to find a question for today's To Peach Their Own. Came across this, which could be useful for all of us. In case you're looking for work or you want to make a whole lot of money in a short amount of time, I saw this question. What's a realistic way for an average person to become rich? Let's go through these answers, see what people have to say about this. The top answer, 6,000 upvotes, the best advice I ever received in my life. Get good at doing something wealthy people need, and you will always have work. The guy who told me this fixed air conditioning on yachts. No one can afford a yacht. No one who can afford a yacht is going to put up with the AC not working on it, no matter what the current economic situation is like. And someone said, yeah, I can relate to this. I do custom copper and specialty roofing. I have guys from mason, landscapers, carpenters, etc., asking if I have a good amount of work. They're always shocked when I say I'm booked out 2.5 years. If you want to go through a helpful thread for whatever you're looking for, there you go. Don't be like this guy who said, well, I got hit by a semi-truck, lost a leg, and got a multi-million-dollar settlement. Your experience may vary. And now this right here is your Shot Clock Sports Update. The NFL trade deadline just passed this week. A number of players switched teams. Normally, NFL players are expected to play 17 games, a full team schedule. But because of trades and moving around, 5 players might be on the hook to play 18 games and get no bye week because their new team already took a week off. Preston Smith traded from the Packers to the Steelers. Zadarius Smith, Browns to Lions. Khalil Davis from the Texans to the 49ers. And Mike Williams from the Jets to the Steelers. As well as Jonathan Mingo from the Panthers to the Cowboys are all on pace to play an extra game but not get any extra money. In other pro football news, on Sunday, the Washington Commanders host the Pittsburgh Steelers. That means there will be plenty of Steelers fans in the stands waving their yellow, terrible towels. It's a bad look because it will seem like enemy fans are taking over the stadium. In an effort to turn this around, the Commanders will distribute 50,000 burgundy towels to fans. This is a genius move considering the team's colors are burgundy and yellow. When the fans are waving their towels, whether they're fans of the Steelers or Commanders, it'll look like the home team colors. The potential crisis of a terrible towel takeover will be averted. And in hockey news, most hockey observers thought Alex Ovechkin would have to play next season to get a shot at breaking Wayne Gretzky's record for career goals. But the 39-year-old Washington Capitals seems determined to grab the record this season. He scored 8 goals in the team's first 12 games, has 6 in his past 5 games. Ovechkin is 34 goals away from breaking Gretzky's mark of 894 goals. We'll see if he does it. That's it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. K-Bear 101, Idaho's only rock station. For a number of years now, there's been a trend that involves adult children living with their parents. Everybody has their own path, no judgment on my end, but at some point I wanted to get out of my parents' place, and very luckily enough, I was able to do so. Moved out at 24, got here. I've spent the last almost 4 years now living on my own, but I do have a few friends that still live with their parents, even though they're full-on adults. They're nearing 30, just like me, and they're still at their parents' place. One of them is actually married and still lives in the parents' house, but I think next year is when they both of the newlyweds plan on moving to Nashville, Tennessee, and get their own house. I mean, he's making a lot of money. They're both making a lot of money by not having to pay rent. I think parents who charge their kids rent is a silly idea because the whole point of being a parent is to set your kid up for the future, and just taking that money away is taking money away for yourself. Compared to, I mean, you didn't have them pay rent when they were growing up. Now magically they need to pay rent. Like, come on now, really. I just say this, like, let your kids live there as long as they can, because trying to find a place right now, it is awful, downright awful. I just was looking into trying to find a new apartment. Maybe I was looking at different options just in case I get that letter that says we feel it's necessary for a rental increase, and every single place out there is one of those. They're one of the newer buildings with $1,700 a month in rent for like a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. You can't hang anything up. You can't do anything in there. It's just more so like just sit, sleep, eat, and that's about it. K-Bear 101, Idaho's only rock station. You know how when bands go on tour together, you get all excited. It could be two of your favorite artists hitting the road with each other. And you're like, I get to see both of my favorite bands in one night. How about the same applies for restaurants? I mean, do we still have those Taco Bell Pizza Hut combo restaurants, or are they a thing of the past now? I just saw the news from Food Beast that for the very first time ever, IHOP and Applebee's are joining forces to open a combo restaurant in Texas. How American is that? Two restaurants combining with one another. Would your family split apart? Like half of you are for some reason only wanting IHOP, the other half are only wanting Applebee's, so you just meet up there, two of you go to either side? I don't know. Something like that. What if more restaurants did this? What if you saw like Chick-fil-A and Popeyes joining forces for a combo restaurant together? You can appease everyone in your family. It's almost like the food truck roundup that was happening all summer long with all the different food trucks all in one area. Just having multiple restaurants join forces. Could that be something in the future? Maybe even more than two, like 3 or 4, and just having one big restaurant together? It's called a food court. Idaho's only rock station, K-Bear 101, was reading something here about Exploding Whale Day, now a full-fledged holiday on the Oregon coast. I was unfamiliar with this whole thing. All of it stems back to November 12th, 1970. Engineers from the Oregon Department of Transportation decided to clear a dead whale from the beach by blowing it up with 20 cases of dynamite, sending huge chunks of blubber flying across the dunes. Before you ask, no, officials in Oregon do not do this sort of thing anymore. Very unfortunate. The humor of the entire situation suddenly gave way to a run for survival as huge chunks of whale blubber fell everywhere. The Oregon legend was resurfaced in 1990 by this humor columnist Dave Barry, but it really blew up, pun intended, in the early 2000s when it became an early viral video sensation, getting hundreds of millions of views on the pre-YouTube internet. Now there is a park in Florence named after the exploding whale. That's pretty cool, right? There's a whole YouTube video. You can find the thing on YouTube still if you really want to see it. Didn't they have like a 50th anniversary? Exploding Whale 50th anniversary, is it like remastered and everything too on YouTube? I got to watch this. K-Bear 101. I think I'm going to officially say that I just hate tourists. They don't know how to keep their hands off things. I know when I go to a different place, I don't want to touch anything that doesn't belong to me, especially things that belong to a national park. Did you hear about this Colorado couple? They've been accused of taking historical cowboy artifacts from Utah's Canyonlands National Park. The U.S. Attorney's Office identified Dusty Spencer and Roxanne McKnight as visitors who breached warnings not to enter Cave Spring Cowboy Camp. Again, nobody wants to listen at all. The camp contains artifacts used by cattle ranchers from the late 1800s up to 1975. The pair allegedly took antique nails and now face multiple charges. What was their point in doing so? Well, there's a quote from McKnight here. I can say with 100% confidence that I did not take anything from that site. In the past, I have been the one telling friends, no, you can't take that shard. That belongs to the land. Well, they got caught with that stuff, so she's lying big time. Just don't touch what doesn't belong to you. Simple as that. Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101, Idaho's only rock station. Every year, people complain about the Grammys very similarly to how they complain about the Super Bowl halftime show, saying, when is the Super Bowl going to book like Metallica, which is most likely not going to happen. At least this year for the Grammys. They're going down on February 2nd, and they actually have Knocked Loose as one of the nominees for Best Metal Performance. Knocked Loose featuring Poppy Suffocate on there. Another nominee, Gojira Mea Culpa. You got Judas Priest, Crown of Horns. And then you have Metallica Screaming Suicide, Spirit Box as well with Cellar Door. I'm assuming right now, Peach's prediction, the winner is going to be Screaming Suicide, even though, how old is that album now? Like 2 years old? Metallica's 72 Seasons. Best Rock Performance, There's a Beatles song on there. Now and Then, that's the title. Beautiful People Stay High from the Black Keys. The American Dream is Killing Me from Green Day. You got Idols, Pearl Jam, St. Vincent for Best Rock Performance as well. Best Rock Album, you got the Black Crowes, Green Day, Idols, Pearl Jam, the Rolling Stones, Jack White, and some band called Fontaines DC. I, for one, just like how I mentioned it during the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem, powered by Jalisco's, am just happy that Knocked Loose made the list with Suffocate. This has certainly been Poppy's year. Whether you say Poppy sucks or not, this has been her year, man. She was a big part of Violence Against Nature. She was the only part of Violence Against Nature. Knocked Loose had her on a track, probably the most commercially successful track out of the entire album there from Knocked Loose. Let's look that up real quick. I'm going to look this up here. Knocked Loose, the streaming numbers from Spotify. You know, you won't go before you're supposed to. They released that album. Yes, the top most streamed song from that album, Suffocate, featuring Poppy, 16 million streams. The second best one is Blinding Faith, which makes sense. The third is Slaughterhouse 2 with 7 million streams. I'm just saying, if you're a Poppy hater, you got to recognize her. This has been her year. Violence Against Nature, Bad Omens with Poppy, Knocked Loose with Poppy, Suffocate. And then she's also had a couple of tracks that have just been crazy good. And then she was also on stage with Spirit Box not that long ago, performing with them. 2024 is definitely the year of Poppy. Adding insult to injury, a 71-year-old bicyclist was recently struck by a vehicle and left with a broken nose and banged up bike. But as luck would have it, the vehicle that hit him was an ambulance. He was quickly transported to the hospital where he was promptly treated. He's going to be all right. That's the happy ending this story should have had. Instead, he was mailed a bill from the Fire and Rescue Department for $1,800 to cover the cost of his ride to the hospital. Inside the ambulance that hit him. The reason why he had to go to the hospital in the first place. So, thankfully, this guy is now suing the department for nearly $1 million to cover the cost of the ambulance ride that he doesn't believe he should have been charged for, along with $100,000 of medical expenses and also the permanent injuries he says he's left with after the accident. The department should not have done that. Now, I'm hoping that they lose. I'm really hoping. For this guy's sake, they're probably going to try to get him on a technicality that, like, he crossed the road at a bad time, something like that. I wish I had this whole story for traffic school powered by the advocates earlier this morning to talk with Lieutenant Crane about, to see what he would have to say. I'll save it for next week. K-Bear 101, Idaho's only rock station. A Florida man in trouble with the police and with horse lovers everywhere. I could only imagine how many horse lovers we have in this area. Horses are pretty cool, right? Well, this guy decided to punch a police horse in the face and then challenged him to punch back. This guy was at the Georgia-Florida football game. His name's Emmanuel Jones. He was exiting the stadium, was walking along a lineup of mounted police where he just punched one of the horses in the face. He then got into a fighting stance and continued to spar with the horse. Obviously, the horse is going to win no matter what. 3 officers hopped off their horses, tackled him to the ground. He continued to resist as they just handcuffed him. He was arrested, charged with causing harm to a police animal, disorderly intoxication, resisting officers. You don't try to pick a fight with any animal, anybody. Self-defense is the only thing that this horse wasn't attacking him. That horse was just standing there. This dude was just like, boom, right to the horse's face. That poor horse. The arrest was one of the many related to the Georgia-Florida game. Isn't it funny how, for some reason, people are just extra violent when it comes to sports, especially college football? I think they're too riled up. They think they can be one of the players out there on the field. And then they get all just ready to go. They make their way out of the game. Alcohol gets in their system. This guy's just like, you know what? Maybe in his head, he was like, maybe I can punch this horse right in the face and get away with it. Luckily not. Well, I guess this hour is just full of insane animal stories. Escaped monkeys still on the loose in South Carolina. Residents, and I don't know how you say this city's name, Yamasi, have been advised to lock their doors and windows after 43 monkeys escaped from a nearby facility called Alpha Genesis. This sounds like a movie plot, doesn't it? The center breeds monkeys for medical testing. While traps have been set in the area so far, none of the monkeys have been recovered. If you spot any of the escaped animals, it says here to please contact 911 immediately and refrain from approaching them, the Yamasi Police Department said. There were so many conspiracy theories with this story on Twitter. It was utterly absurd. Like, oh, here we go again. COVID part 2. It does say, the facility sounds like an evil corporation. Alpha Genesis. And somehow 43 monkeys escaped. Like I said, this sounds like a plot to some sort of thriller movie. Idaho's only rock station, K-Bear 101. Time for To Peach Their Own, where I ask you a question. You let me know your best or dumbest answer over at 208-535-1015. If you could have any song play every time you walk in a room, what song would it be? Saw this one on a different Facebook group and went, sure, yeah, that's a fun one for a Friday, right? My mind immediately went to I Prevail, Bow Down, so you just hear it, get on your knees and bow down every single time I walk into the room. That'd be pretty cool, right? So if you could have any song play every time you walk into a room, what song would it be? 208-535-1015, that is the number to call and do so. Hey, K-Bear, how's it going?
Not too bad.
All right, James, what's your answer if you had to choose any song that you could use when you walked into a room? That could play when you walk into a room, what would it be?
Electric Six, I Don't Like You.
That's fantastic. I don't even need to hear the song. I just like the title.
And it's pretty much how it starts off. It starts off like someone told me you were cool. The more I think about it, that someone must have been you.
There's another song that just came to my mind when it comes to people that block me at the grocery store. You know that Ludacris song where it goes, move, get out the way. Yeah. There we go.
Oh yeah,
that's another one of my another one of my choices
there.
As
much as I hate to make it, a Limp Bizkit reference, though, you could go with Rollin' too.
True,
especially for those people in the grocery store blocking the way.
Exactly. K-Bear, what is going on?
Well, hello and good Friday to the notorious Giant Peach.
The Red Ed finally calling in. I hope everything's going okay for you.
It's been going all right. Busy as heck this season, but I finally got to listen for a minute, so I thought I'd chime in your peach zone.
Yeah, if you could have any song, Red Ed, play every time you walk in a room, what would it be?
The first thing that popped in my head when I heard that was For Whom the Bells Toll, Metallica.
A classic.
Like, everything, dang, it just gets you every time.
Yeah, I like that song a lot more than what I like to call Hex Bells from AC/DC. Even though AC/DC is my all-time favorite band, I still like that song from Metallica a whole lot more.
Yeah, that's with the bells. It's awesome. It's a good intro, man, for sure.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Red Ed. Great to hear that you're doing okay.
Heck yeah. Have a good evening. Good weekend, buddy.
Hey, you as well.
All right. Peach out.
Peach out. 208-535-1015 if you want to know what today's To Peach Their Own question is. If you're just now tuning in, if you could have any song play every time you walk in a room, what song would it be? Let me know. K-Bear, what's going on?
Hey, so the song that I would choose would be Big Ball by AC/DC.
Yeah, very nice. It's about ballroom dancing.
Ballroom dancing?
Yeah, that's what the song's about.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's about.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoy the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.